So I saw this video online. The Guardian of Precious came out through her Instagram handle to demand for advice or help, to ask for help rather, to ask for help as to ways she could make Precious an integral part of her family, officially her daughter. Now, the background story is that with the consent of Precious, I've been living, I mean, with the consent of Precious parents, I've been living with Precious for quite a long period of time, and she had fallen in love with the child. She wants to now adopt her officially. She went to see her parents and officially demanded that they hand over their daughter to her, and that she would want to adopt their daughter. The parents refused, and she um went to, according to her, she went to social welfare, she went to some other organizations to ask for their assistance and guidance on as to how to adopt Precious. She later came back online to say that they finally settled, that the parents of Precious gave her a list of traditional rights to fulfill so that she could now be living with Precious as her biological, I mean, as her adopted child. That she's fulfilling those rights, that we should not worry, that everything is being sorted, and they are almost settling those demands from the biological parents of Precious, which brings me to the essence of today's video. Now, in today's video, we're going to be discussing some necessary or legal applications that can be made with respect to a child, especially in the best interest of that child, and not just for us here in Nigeria, but especially for immigration purposes. That's if you want to travel out with that child, and the people who can make those applications. We're going to discuss them in today's video. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly click the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. We'll be right back. Now, in responding to the demand by um, Precious Guardian, with respect to the adoption of Precious, yes, I know that the biological parents gave her some traditional requirements to fulfill to that effect, but I will advise her to take further steps with respect to official documents of either an application for legal guardianship or an application for the custody of the child. And one step she needs to take, maybe after she has done those traditional documents, is to ask for the asking for consent and giving consent should be done officially. That it should be done through an affidavit statement. The parents of Precious, both parents of Precious, are to give consent to her to officially adopt their child or apply for legal guardianship of their child. Now, the essence of this is that if she needs to travel out with Precious, either for shopping or for vacation, she may not be allowed by immigration officials to leave the shores of this country with her without an official document that gives her custody of the child. So she needs to first, through an affidavit statement, get consent of both parents. Both parents should consent to the fact that yes, we have handed over our child to you to officially take care of her as her legal guardian or as her adopted parent. Both biological parents of Precious are to give that consent through an affidavit statement, and then she can proceed to the necessary government parastatal to make an application for either legal guardianship or legal custody. Have these documents with her so that when she wants to travel out or leave the shores of this country, or when she wants to even make important decisions for the child. She can do that. To talk about the different applications that can be made with respect to the best interest of a child. Now, one of the applications that can be made is an application for the custody of the child. Now, these applications are usually made by either parents, either the mother or the father of the child, and it happens in cases that the parents are either separated or divorced. So either of the parents, biological parents, now can make an application for the custody of their biological children, so that they would have official court order that empowers them to have custody of that child. The second application that can be made is an application for the adoption of a child. Now, this application is usually made by someone that is not a parent of the child, by someone that is not the biological parent of the child. And when an application for the adoption of a child is made, automatically the biological parents of the child lose their their um they lose their parental rights. Let me put it that way. They lose their parental rights over that child. They relinquish those rights to the adopted parents of the child. So when a person makes an application for the adoption of a child, the first step is to get consent from the biological parents of that child. The biological parents of the child must give the adopted parents consent to adopt their child and make that child their adopted child. So the third application now that one can make in the best interest of the child is an application for legal guardianship. Now, this application is usually made by someone that is not the biological parent of the child or the children. And this application does not rob the parents, the biological parents of this child, their parental rights over the child. They don't relinquish their parental rights over the child. In this instance, they just hand over the guardianship of their child officially to a third party. And in this instance, the guardian, the legal guardian, that's what they call the person that makes the application. The legal guardian must seek and obtain consent from the biological parents. And if both biological parents are alive, they should both give consent. They are required by law to both give consent. But if they are not alive, either of the parents can give consent. That's the one who is alive can give consent. But the legal guardian must first ask and obtain consent before any other step is followed. I think the fourth application that can be made in the best interest of a child is an application for parental responsibility. Now, this application is usually made by someone who wants to now take responsibility of a child with respect to maybe paying bills. This is usually made by and is usually made by an adult that wants to look out for the child. Let me put it that way. That wants to look out for the child where the biological parents of the child cannot access the child. Now, this is usually done with respect to those who are schooling abroad. Those who are schooling abroad and they would require more funds. Someone can stand in with an authority, a court order for parental responsibility, to say that I am parentally responsible for this child in this country within the period of time that this child will be around or will be schooling or living in this country. I am the parent of the child. Now, this application is also made by someone that is not the biological parent of that child, and consent must first be obtained from the biological parent of the child in this instance as well. So these are the applications that can be made. And in all of this, consent must first be had and obtained, except the application for custody, where consent of the other party may not be required. What is required is just a court order granting custody to a parent, biological parent now, of the child, granting custody of the child or the children to that parent. I hope you found this helpful. Just in case you want to um, migrate with a child that is either not yours, or is you are a single parent, you would need these legal documentations to be able to leave the shores of Nigeria with this child. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.